We're going to go to the park, and we're going to take one lap around the park. That's about a fourth of a mile. It's right here. This is the park, and they say 4 times around this will give you a mile. That's what they said. I have walked 3.5 miles, but when I first started, I did, you wouldn't believe it, 9.5 miles. I was trying to get the weight off. Before I made the lifestyle change, I cook very richly. Anything that would eat me first, I'd eat it. I was weighing 265 pounds. My blood pressure was almost 300 over 200. And when I went to the doctor, they told me that I should have been dead a long time ago. I've come from a long ways. This is what I look like when I first got started and before. I would eat big plates of food, and in the next 15 minutes I'd be hungry, starving, and I would go back. I came down with high blood pressure, number 1, and number 2, they discovered that I had diabetes, and number 3, I have high cholesterol. He gave me 3 pills, 2 pills at first, a beta blocker and a Presaline, and it didn't budge it. And so when I went back, he says, Virginia, we have 1 more pill for you. And if that don't work, there's not very much we can do for you. I had to come to grips with the fact that I had an eating problem and I needed help. And so I did a lot of praying and a lot of crying. And I didn't want to misrepresent God. I thought I was a misrepresentation to God. And when I went to my brother's funeral, and he was quite heavy, and I talked to the mortuary, and he told me what they had to do with the coffin. They had to reinforce it, they had to enlarge it to keep him from falling through. And I'm saying that I'm a Seventh-day Adventist Christian, and that should not be. Lord, I don't want to disgrace you in health, in life, neither in death. So I made up my mind then and there by the grace of God that I was going to do better. I says, Lord, I have an appetite problem. I love to eat. And if you do not help me, I'm doomed. I'm doomed. And when you're honest with the God like that, he really answers your prayer. Then when I went to Dr. Stiles, I'm going to call him, and I went on the Ware diet, he told me, he said, Virginia, if you would stick to the Ware diet, there would be nothing wrong with you. So when I did that, I would make my vegetables and my food like it should be, and I would sit there sometime and I would cry. I said, Lord, you know I don't want this. I don't like it. I don't want it. I want something else. I want some fried chocolates or chickettes or whatever, but I don't want this. I said, so you're going to have to make that taste good to me. But you know what? And when I started eating, it was fine. I really enjoyed it. God will help. And you know what? When you sit down to eat it, you will find that the Lord does just that. You begin to like it, and you begin to enjoy it. So I have learned, my taste buds has really changed. And some of the things that you thought you didn't like, when you try it, you find that it's good. It is good for you. I find, too, that you can diet all you want to, but if you don't exercise, you're wasting your time. When I had that, I would walk on my trampoline and for hours, because I would walk. And that's how I lost most of my weight, inside. I don't jump on my trampoline, I walk on my trampoline. You put your music on with it and time just passed. And then when I was talking on the phone, I made up my mind. I says, Lord, I must get exercise in. So as doing my work and people would call, I would walk around in my house. I'd walk from this door to that door and around, and you can do that. I have walked talking on the phone with various people about 2 hours or more. And that way, you're not wasting time. You can walk in your house. You can exercise in your house, stretch on the floor. These are things that you don't have to spend money for. And that's what you have to do. You have to make up your mind. Once you make up your mind, nothing else matters. What they call those bars that you swing on out here in the park. I used to go there and go across once or twice, and I find it stretch very good. It pulls all the muscles in the body, and I kind of like that. When I moved here, I started walking in the park, and on Sabbath afternoon, a group of us that were here, we would go to the park to walk. And I noticed the kids playing with this thing, and it would slide backwards and forth. And I said, I like that. I said, I'm gonna do that. They said, don't you get on that? I said, why not? They own it. And so I didn't do it with them, but the next day I went to the park. I said, I'm gonna do this. I did that, and they said, you don't do that. You're too old to do that. I said, they can do it, I can too. I like that, really. Your muscles get tight, and you have pain, and you find all you need to do is exercise. You want to grow old gracefully. The key to it all is a made-up mind. 10 years from today, I don't want to be taking no medicine at all. And I want to be 86 or whatever it is and more healthier than what I am now. Once you are diabetic, you are one. But my diabetes is good. They said it's just a fraction. In fact, they don't worry about my diabetes anymore. I struggled. You're gonna have to cry, and you're gonna have to pray. When you get started, you feel good about it, and for the first few months or so, it's okay. But after a while, you begin to, that body start craving for the things that it used to get. And then you have a battle on your hand. But God can keep you. Unto him that is able to keep you from falling. That's your only hope. That's the only thing that has kept me. And I thank God for it. Because today I feel good. I feel at my age, 76 and 4 months, my mind is pretty good. I feel better about myself, and I feel better about my relationship with God.